Welcome to video lesson 5.4, Writing Linear Equations. Go ahead and put today's date in the top right hand corner, and by the end of this lesson, our target is that I can write the linear equation to a slope and a point, or from 2 points, or from a graph. Now, to write an equation in slope-intercept form, what we need to do first is always find two parts. The first part we always want to find is our slope. So always find m, and m is the variable for our slope. And we find slope two ways. We do rise over run if it's a graph, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 if we're looking at ordered pairs. The second thing we always have to find is our b, which is our y-intercept, or where the line crosses the y-axis. So if we're looking at a graph again, we're going to look to where the line crosses the y-axis because it's the y-intercept. Or, let's say we're not given a graph, we find it by substituting values of x and y, which are from your ordered pair. So, in ordered pair, that's important. And our slope into y equals mx plus b and solve for b. So there's two ways to find our y-intercept. It's either where the line crosses the y-axis, or we solve for b. Lastly, once we have our m and our b, we simply just plug m and b into our y equals mx plus b. On our very final equation that we write in slope-intercept form, we must remember that we have to keep y and x as variables in the final equation. So right here, our y and x will stay variables for our final equation. That way it looks in like slope-intercept form. So let's see our first example. It's from a graph. Write an equation of a line that passes through 1, 5 with a slope of 2. So 1, 5 with a slope of 2. Now, the very first thing we always want to find, there you go, clean that up a little bit, is our slope. So at this point you have to ask yourself, is this one of those problems where slope is given to you, or do you have to find slope? Well, it says slope of 2, so that means it's given to us. So we just say slope is the variable m, and m equals 2. Second thing we need to find is our y-intercept. Now the y-intercept is our variable b, and we have to find this one by solving for b. So we're going to take our y equals mx plus b formula, and we're going to have to solve for b, which means I need values for y, m, and x. So I know where to find my variable m right there, and its value. Now we have to look to our ordered pair up here for our x and our y. So in every ordered pair, your x comes first, then your y. Okay? So down here, we're just going to substitute. So we say y is 5 equals m is over here, 2. And if they're side by side, that means they're being multiplied. So 2 times, then x is up here, 1. I drop down my plus b. Now we're going to solve for b. So the first thing we have to do is simplify. So 2 times 1. So 5 equals 2 times 1 is 2 plus b. Now we have to solve for b. So I'm going to keep my 5 here on the left because he's already where he wants to be. But my positive 2 wants to come to their side and become a minus 2 equals b. So 5 minus 2 is 3 equals b. And we now have b. So we have our m, we have our b. Now we're going to plug it all back into y equals mx plus b. So this is our final equation. So y and x are both going to stay variables. So y equals m is 2. And we drop down our x because it stays a variable, plus b is 3. And this is what we want. This is our final equation. There we go. So we wrote an equation given a point and a slope. Now let's look at our third example. It says write a linear equation for a line passing through the 2 points, -3, -1. Okay, and the second order pair is -2, -8. So remember, when we write a linear equation, the very first thing we need to find is our slope. And slopes are variable m, so m equals. Now we have to look and say, is slope given to us or do I have to find slope? Well, from 2 ordered pairs, I'm going to have to find slope using my slope formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So come up here and we label our pieces x1, y1, x2, y2. And we say m equals y2 is -8 minus y1 is a -1. And minus a negative, remember, will turn to plus a positive. So our x2 is -2 minus our x1 is a -3. Once again, minus a negative becomes plus a positive. So -8 plus 1 is -7 over -2 plus 3 is 1. We always want to check to see if that can reduce. And -7 over 1 can reduce and say -7 divided by 1 is -7. So we now have our m. Next thing we need to find is our y-intercept, which is our variable b. Okay, so that's our variable b. And we're going to plug it all into our y equals mx plus b. Now, because we have 2 ordered pairs, it doesn't matter which ordered pair you pick. I like picking the first ordered pair to use to solve for my b, because usually the numbers are a little bit nicer. So y is up here. Y value is -1. There we go. Equals m is -7 times our x is -3 plus b. So we get -1 equals, and we have to simplify by saying -7 times -3 makes a positive 21 plus b. Last step to solve for b is to transpose. So I'm going to keep my -1 here on the left and bring my positive 21 over to become a minus 21 equals, and then what's left over here is our b. The -1 minus 21 is a -22 equals b. So we now have our b. We have our m, which is our slope. We have our y-intercept. Now all we have to do is just write our equation. Y equals mx plus b. And we have y equals, because remember y stays a variable, our m is -7. We keep our x, and then our plus b is a -22. Instead of saying plus a -22, we're just going to say minus 22. And there we go. We have our slope-intercept form equation given 2 points. And we have found our equation by giving a graph, a slope, and a point, and now 2 points. So that finishes up for our 5.4 video.